Hi, I'm Dr. Mark. Thank you for tuning in to the 1000-Pound Challenge. I'm a chiropractor and a nutritionist, and the program I'm going to share with you today is a program I have been working on, implementing, and developing for the past 10 years. A big component of this program will be a series of 3-week purification and detoxifications. As a practitioner, I have exposure to a lot of commercial grade or pharmaceutical grade supplements, and the supplements I've chosen for this program I have field tested, and they are by far the best supplements for this purpose. A big part of the focus of the purification and detoxification strategy is the focus on not only improving function of the liver and the kidneys, but also to heal those organs so that their ability to do the workload is much greater. Another component of the strategy or the program is to manage blood sugar, and in a second we'll get in there and we'll combine both of these strategies and see how they work together. A third component is very specific exercise designed to have an impact on how your metabolic functions are working and improve those functions. And then for those who want to do more of a long-term program which extends for a full year, we will supply very specific supplementation based on your biochemistry, and that determination is made off of blood workup, hair analysis, and extensive symptom surveys. So all of this is designed to help customize your needs and improve your metabolic functions. Now, if we're thinking about weight loss, metabolic function is the key to any weight loss program. And the reason why is we want to be looking, or what we should be thinking about in our mind is my metabolism in a fat-producing metabolism or a fat-burning metabolism? And that's the simplest way to look at it, but those are the questions that we want to ask. Now, it's very common for people in America, once they hit their late 30s, early to mid-40s, is for their thyroid gland to slow down. And the thyroid gland is the gland that actually controls your metabolism. Now, what happens with the medical community is that when they see somebody has a hypofunctioning thyroid, is they usually put you on some type of a pharmaceutical strategy that will give you the hormone that the thyroid is not producing. They will not do anything to fix the function of the thyroid. They'll just give you what the thyroid isn't producing. This strategy that I've developed actually helps improve thyroid function through working on liver and adrenal gland function. There is something called the metabolic triangle where the liver, adrenal gland, and thyroid communicate with each other, and as a unit they dictate what kind of metabolism your body is in. And to simplify it to the greatest extent, I asked the question, are you in a fat-producing metabolism or a fat-burning metabolism? So let's jump into this. So why detoxify? The liver is the workhorse of the body. It's much like the transmission of your car. And I tell all my patients that your heart is your engine, your liver is your transmission. Now, anybody who owns a car knows that they should change the motor oil every 3,000 miles to keep that motor functioning very strong and not having any mechanical failure. The problem is nobody ever thinks about changing the oil in the transmission until the transmission quits working. In fact, auto dealers or auto manufacturers don't even make it easy for you to change the transmission oil. So we're going to focus on changing our transmission oil. So to get into how the liver functions, it's our primary filter, and as far as the extent of this conversation, it also is where the majority of our blood sugar is stored. So we want to improve liver function, so not only is it filtering better, but it's helping release stored blood sugar more efficiently. So let's get into the filtering aspect of it first. The liver filters in 2 phases, phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1 takes the single isolated toxins, and these can be environmental toxins, of which there are over 80,000 environmental toxins in our world that we are exposed to at some level on a regular basis. But some of these toxins can also be metabolic toxins like waste or dead cells or other things that are byproducts of normal metabolic function. So what happens in phase 1 is the single isolated molecules get condensed into one bigger condensed solid molecule. So 20, 30, 40 might become one. Now in phase 2, that dense molecule is shipped over to the part of the liver that will make that molecule water soluble. Once this dense toxin that the liver created is made water soluble, it can now pass through the water soluble membranes in the kidney and it can flush out in your pee. So pee is one of a primary points of elimination of waste out of our body. Another area that the liver will package things to be eliminated from is through our poop. So through the gallbladder, in the bile, some toxins will be packaged and released through our poop. So elimination and drainage happens through poop and pee. Now, elimination also happens through our sweat glands and actually our lungs from a chemical perspective. But these are our two primary, and these are the ones that we really want to focus on taking care of, because as we age, especially our intestinal tract and our liver, as they slow down, we start to lose the ability to eliminate through poop and pee as efficiently as we could when we were kids. So let's get a picture of why this is important. If the liver is not filtering correctly, this toxin right here will not be made water soluble. And if it's not made water soluble, it can't be eliminated out through the kidney. So what happens is it goes back into general blood circulation and comes back at the beginning of the liver for more filtering. Because the liver created this, it recognizes it. And it starts to recognize if this is coming back in to the liver for more filtering, there is a problem. The liver's job is to get this out of the body one way or another. So what happens is it tells the thyroid to start slowing the metabolism down and shifting you into a fat-producing metabolism. At that point, the liver will use fat as a storage medium to start burying the things that were not properly filtered the first time through, because the liver's got to get those things out of the blood one way or another. So as this whole connection here starts to slow down, our poop and pee become less efficient in elimination, our body naturally shifts into fat production. And a sign of this is what we call the fat triad. We start to get belly fat, we start to get arm fat, and we start to get face fat. That's a sign, that's an early sign that your liver is not filtering correctly and your body is shifting into a more dominant form of fat production as its primary metabolic function. We don't want to be in fat production, we want to be in fat burning. So what ends up happening is because we're stuck in fat production and there's stress on the liver and the liver is not functioning as efficiently, the ability to manage the blood sugar starts to be impacted, and the liver's ability to release glycogen on an as-needed basis starts to get altered. So now what happens is that starts to impact our blood sugar metabolism. So this green line here shows a normal, healthy blood sugar metabolism. As our blood sugar drops, glycogen is released from the liver into the bloodstream to bring the blood sugar levels up to normal levels, and we have this nice level oscillation of blood sugar. This means our brain is functioning normally, our body is producing stable energy, and overall we feel good. So what happens is when we get an interruption in this, we start to get lower drops in our blood sugar. Now, because the brain functions primarily off of blood sugar, it starts to panic. And what it'll do is it'll make you crave something with sugar in it. So here we begin the cycle of erratic eating and erratic blood sugars. The red indicates that person has an erratic eating habit and an erratic blood sugar metabolism. So one of the symptoms of this erratic blood sugar is the fact that we start to get very radical insulin production. And what happens is as the blood sugar spikes because we're eating more sugar and we're consuming more foods that aren't really healthy for us, we get rapid increase of sugar into the bloodstream. So insulin is the hormone that gets released to actually help get the sugar into the cells and lower the blood sugar level in the blood itself. So the faster these spikes ramp up, the faster and more rapid we get a release of insulin. And when things get too out of control, we start to get an overproduction of insulin because the blood sugar will start to drop, but yet the pancreas is still producing insulin. So dropping below an unhealthy blood sugar level is actually threatening to our health. We can actually black out if our blood sugar gets too low. So to fight the overproduction of insulin, the body, through the adrenal gland right here, produces cortisol. And the cortisol's job is to break down unused insulin in the blood. This is a great self-management mechanism. But the problem is there's nothing designed in the body to break down the cortisol. Cortisol is known as the fat hormone, and here's why. If we get an overproduction of cortisol, it's now the liver's job to get that cortisol out of the bloodstream. And one of the big ways the liver is going to get that cortisol out of the bloodstream is tell the thyroid to slow down and go into fat production. So now we see kind of a combination or a relationship between just toxicity of the liver not being able to filter right will produce a fat-producing metabolism, and overproduction of cortisol will also trigger that response of overproducing fat, taking us into a fat-producing metabolism. So what's the best way to manage that? We want to have a healthy blood sugar metabolism from the liver, from a healthy functioning liver, and we want to get back to this level. Anything erratic, we're going to have erratic eating habits, we're going to have erratic energy cycles, and if we're conditioning our body to rely on food to give us energy, we're always going to end up in that pattern. Now here's a question that I always ask my clients. How are you conditioning your metabolism to function? So let's think about this for a second. If you were training to be an Olympic athlete, let's say in the javelin throw, you would train very specifically to be good at throwing a javelin. And it's not going to take a few weeks or even a year to get good at it. It's going to take several years to get very good at throwing the javelin. Well, how are you conditioning your metabolism to function? If you're eating erratically and you're not managing your blood sugar and you're eating lousy foods which are putting more metabolic stress on the liver, therefore your liver health is diminishing, and therefore your ability to package and drain toxins out of your body is diminished. How are you training your body? You're training it to be unhealthy. Interesting way of looking at it, isn't it? The way you eat, the way you live, the things you do, the way you think about managing your liver is how you are training your body to function. Whether you know it or not, you are training yourself to be in a fat production type of a metabolism. So through this program, we can change all that around. We can reverse that. That's why the year program is really good, because it's giving us a year to get in and actually retrain our body on how to function. Retrain our body to not only have a healthy liver that's detoxifying correctly, but through that having the ability to have a healthy managing blood sugar metabolism, which in turn will help us eat a more healthier diet. The two feed on each other, therefore stimulating the thyroid to work the way it was designed to work and keep us in a fat-burning metabolism. Once we're in a fat-burning metabolism, the whole system starts to work efficiently on its own. If our blood sugar drops low, our liver will release glycogen because it knows that it can automatically burn fat to replace the glycogen that it's used. So we're not worried about storage anymore, so now that storage can be used efficiently to manage our blood sugar levels. So the whole system feeds upon itself. It's a functioning mechanism. It's not as simple as, oh, your thyroid's not working, we need to give you T4 hormone. Okay, so this is a very natural approach to managing our metabolism. People who start to do this and apply it, they will lose weight because they're going to lose weight naturally, and they will keep it off because they're doing it naturally. Their metabolism is dictating their weight, not how much calories they're taking in. And over the long run, people become healthier. As the liver becomes healthier, your skin looks better, your eyes look better, your hair is healthier, your nails are healthier. One of the biggest things about this program is people who do it look and feel better. They're no longer addicted to stimulants. Their dependency on coffee is less. Their dependence on junk foods is less. And the people who come in from seeing those kinds of people, this is a very common question. I don't know what you did, but whatever you did for that person, I want it because she looks wonderful or she looks spectacular. Okay, they're not coming in because they lost weight. People are coming in because they see their friends looking and feeling better. It's a very, very great way to lead your life. Now you're conditioning your body to manage itself efficiently, and over time you'll have less tendency for degenerative diseases, your body will be less inflamed, you'll be less pain sensitive, and overall you're going to feel much better. So I thank you for tuning in. This was a short synopsis. If you have any questions, you can read further information or feel free to drop me an email or even call my office, and when I have time I'll return your call and we'll talk about how this program can benefit you. Thanks for tuning in to the 1000 Pound Challenge, and have a great day.